Welcome back. You're watching Fox and Friends First. Youth voter turnout has historically been dismal in midterms, but according to a new poll, they may turn out in record numbers next week. And not only that, but most of them say that they will be voting for Democrats. Our next guest spoke with students at Lock Haven University to see just how they feel about the hottest issues of the midterms.
I think we should let them in.
I think it's diversity creates strength.
I mean, I feel like it's not really that big of a problem.
We stole this land anyway.
Wow. Well, joining us with his reaction is campusreform.org media director Cabot Phillips. We always love having you with us. Thank you.
Happy to be here.
So about 40% of young adults 18 to 29 say that they will definitely vote November 6th. But traditionally, they may say they're going to, but then not necessarily turn out in large numbers.
I think when it comes to voter turnout, especially on the left, it's going to come down to what are you telling people that your party is for? So far this midterm cycle, Democrats have not actually had a unified message of saying this is what we're for. Here's what a vote for the Democrat Party is. It's just been a vote for resistance. The Democrat Party is just the party of anti-Trump, anti-Republican, anti-DC. And at a certain point, you have to say, here's what supporting us actually means, as opposed to just we're against everything. I don't think they've done a good enough job of presenting that message so far.
But yet at the same time, when you look at these type of poll numbers, it says that in terms of the interest in the midterms, 54% are more likely to vote Democrat, only 43% Republican.
I think there's definitely a pressure for young people to say that they support Democrats more than anyone else. They feel that in class. We report at the Leadership Institute's Campus Forum all the time, the student pressure that the people feel. And young people as a whole, I think, look around the political climate. They see what happens to young people that are vocal in support of Republicans and conservative causes. They see the violence, the threats they face on a daily basis. Many of them just go along with the leftist ideology because it's easier for them on a daily basis. And I think that plays a role in a lot of young people feeling a pressure to go along with that narrative, even if they don't really know what it's about.
That's interesting, though, because you say, young people pressured to say that they support Democrats, even though privately they may support Republicans. That's the same type of issue going on in the black community as well that we keep hearing about.
And it's interesting also to look at who is informed, who is not. I'm on these college campuses all the time. I find that young conservative students are more informed across the spectrum because they have to be informed. They're consistently having to defend themselves. They're consistently being attacked and having to debate their ideas. Whereas left-leaning students are more likely to be coddled, to have their ideas confirmed in class in the mainstream media. So they don't really have to be challenged that much. I also think another important part about the midterms to address is how so many young Democrats feel disenfranchised from the party. During the 2016 primary, they feel as if the primary was rigged against Hillary Clinton, which it was by the DNC, against their man, Bernie Sanders. And a lot of them are still angry. They still resent the Democrat Party and don't identify with them as much as I think the party would hope they do.
We were just talking about Bernie Sanders. He's leading in the polling as a potential for 2020. So would that be something that would motivate young voters?
It's hard to know at this point. It's definitely a lot of young people say that they support these more socialist ideas. But, we did made this video at Campus Forum about the caravan. That's another issue. A lot of people, immigration, are split on.
And before we wrap up, I want to ask you about that. In terms of when you're out there talking with these students, what do you find to be the number one issue driving them to the polls this particular midterm?
Well, right now, the most common thing they're talking about is Donald Trump, which, again, I don't know if that's enough to actually get them to vote if they're not actually for anything. A lot of them did bring up immigration. And it's interesting how the left has created this environment where you are either pro-illegal immigration or you are xenophobic. There's no middle ground where you can say and have a reasonable discussion about, hey, I'm pro-immigration, legal immigration, and I also support border security. I also support rule of law. And I do think the left has pushed the conversation so far to the extreme that there's not room for many reasonable people to have disagreements there. And I think that's a problem where it's become so extreme. A lot of reasonable people say, well, surely I can support two things. They don't have to be mutually exclusive of being a xenophobe or being, in support of illegal immigration. I think that's a problem.
And that's a growing issue, and it's a dangerous issue, a lack of a middle ground, as you put it, with a whole host of issues, not just immigration, a growing problem in this country. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Cabot.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll have you back. Busy time. Well, the time now, speaking of that, is about 5 minutes until the